Hi everyone. So today was day one of us trying to learn system design, and today was spent researching about different kind of resources which were available. I went through a lot of articles. I went through some introductory videos, and I gathered all the list of requirements that are needed for us to begin system design in a very proper way. So let's dive into it. I guess this much or a bit lower. Yeah, I guess this much is all right. Okay, so we'll begin. So I began with this prompt. So skim the internet, give me a detailed topic by topic distinction. So the thing is that system design has um, a lot of concepts, and these concepts can be categorized, or these concepts can be subdivided into two categories, two uh, crude categories. One of them is high level design, and the other is low level design. High level design talks about a lot of theory, and low level design is about code, in code using which you can actually implement those practices which you talk about in high level design. So I have kind of uh, boiled all this information down inside a Notion page. So let's talk about prerequisites initially. So the prerequisites which you need uh, are, don't go through this. I'll talk about some prerequisites. The most important prereq is object oriented programming. So if you know, so first of all, you need to have some idea of any programming language at least. So you need to have built one or two projects at least. Uh, so object-oriented programming, you need to know about pillars of object-oriented programming. You need to know about inheritance, what that means. You need to know about polymorphism. There are two types of polymorphism: runtime and compile time. You need to know about encapsulation, getters and setters, and you need to know about abstraction, interfaces, what abstract classes are, and so on. Other than that, I'd personally suggest that you need to know a little bit about multi-threading, and to learn multi-threading, you need to know a little bit about operating system, and you need to go through some kind of a learning arc of operating systems, because there was some playlist which I came across of low-level design which talked about multi-threading. I'm not sure if we will cover multi-thread, if I personally will cover multi-threading or not, or will I treat it as a different kind of learning thing. But if we do, I guess multi-threading in operating systems is something which you need to have a little bit of idea about. Uh, Other than that, you need to know database management systems. So DBMS is a very important subject, not because it is directly usable in system design, and some concepts are directly replicable in system design to that of DBMS. But the thing is that DBMS talks about scaling, and that part, I guess, is really important, because DBMS is about scaling databases, and system design about scaling your code, writing code in a very clean, readable, maintainable, and a scalable manner, which can be scaled. So to follow operating system, I followed this playlist in June. This is a really good, really good playlist. You can see I have watched almost every single video till the last. So this is a really good playlist for operating systems. You need to go through, at least you need to go through multi-threading, multitasking, multiprocessing, what the difference between these components are, system calls. Not too much in depth. This is something which you can also learn while you face um, some problems in your learning of system design. This, however, is important. Database management system, again, this is a really good playlist which I followed. There is a very important video which I would recommend you to see. Database scaling patterns. So this 19th video, this is a really important video. In this video, what he talks about, there are 7 database scaling patterns, and in this video, he's talked about all these 7 patterns, but in a very good manner. So it begins almost as a case study. So suppose you have a really small company which is dealing with 20 customers, and slowly your operations start expanding, and now you deal with 200 customers. Then what you'll do? 2,000 customers. Then what you'll do? 20,000 customers, 2 million customers, 200,000, 2 million, 200 million customers. Then what you'll do? So it talks about all these scaling patterns in a very intuitive and a very beautiful manner. So I would much recommend you to follow or watch this playlist, this video at least. And the most important would be object oriented programming. So I didn't follow any playlist for object oriented programming. I went through my course which was taught in the university, and I also went through While learning for that course, I went through a lot of articles. Java T Point was really famous. I don't know where the website is right now. This is a really famous website, Geeks for Geeks. You can, in a way, you can just read every single thing which is about object-oriented programming in this article. So you need to read about every single one of these. You need to read about every single one of these. You need to read about every single one of these. Not advanced. You can skip the advanced version, but a little bit of exception handling, error handling will do. You need to know about JIT. In-time compiler, you need to know about Java garbage collector, and you need to know about obviously told about like the four pillars of object-oriented programming. You need to know about mutable variables, immutable objects, and things like these. A little bit about polymorphism and a little base which would help you to know what is happening and not feel lost. Enough about prerequisites. These are the prerequisites which are needed. A little bit, one or two projects if you have made, that helps a lot. Because if you have written bad code, then you'll know what good code, then you'll appreciate good code a lot more. So, apart from all this, now talking about system design, what I learned today. So, I came across Gaurav Sen, beautiful playlist. I also came across the thing that this is a high level design playlist. He talks about high level design in this playlist. This is a very good video. This first video and second video, these are the two videos that I saw. I didn't see a video about load balancing. A very good video which I saw, two videos which I saw. These two were very good videos. This is a very beautiful video, system design for beginners. In this video, he talks about every single thing which you have ever heard about or things which have till now given you a fear of missing out, FOMO. He talks about these things. So you'll at least know what these things are and when do you use these things. So you'll get to know about load balancers, you get to know about rate limiting, Kubernetes, what all these things are. What is a definition at least of these things. So this is a very good video. In a way, this video is exactly about systems, and this video, lecture 19, is exactly about databases. So the way that he talks about scaling databases, in the same way, Piyush Garg talks about scaling your entire system, your entire website, and what all things do you need other than just databases, which are components of system design. So this is a very good video. This also is high level design. Now, I came across this beautiful uh, blog. This is a blog by Himanshu. I don't want to pronounce the last name wrong. How I learned system design. A very important thing which I would kind of motivate every one of you to go through this blog for yourselves. It's just a 5-minute read. You can, however, skim this in about 2 minutes. The most important thing, so you can look at this. So you can break it down into many topics. The basics. These are the basics. TCP/IP. So you don't need to know about computer networks. You can learn a lot about protocols in this playlist. So data storage, what NoSQL and MySQL is. This you can also learn while learning system design. Scaling techniques. This is so you'll once you know database management systems, you'll have a little bit of idea of what these things are. Architecture patterns. This is very important because I guess a little bit of architecture is covered in operating systems, and if you have made some kind of project, I guess you would have came across event-driven architecture. If not, I also don't know exactly what it is. We'll learn. This is a very important point. I watched real people think, not just teach. So instead of watching tutorial style videos, I started watching mock interviews, and this is something which I will do as well. So channels which helped Gaurav Sen, I came across this, mock interviews, and yeah, so this is it. You can go through this entire blog, really good blog. So right now we'll talk about resources which I will follow. I have talked about 2 resources. This is what I'll follow for high level design. This is what I'll follow for high level design. I have taken entire, so this is the prerequisites which I mentioned. This is a way to learn. So I have mentioned all the topics for myself in low level design, and I have mentioned all the topics for myself in high level design which I need to understand, which I need to read. I guess these are not enough. So as we start learning, these concepts will start expanding themselves. So a little bit of idea is encapsulated in between these two things. So, way to learn. Before talking about how I will learn it, I'll talk about books which I would recommend you to follow. I personally don't read much books, but I'll also start reading a little bit of books. I'll see if I want to read them, then I'll read. If I don't find them useful, then I'll not. This is a really good book, but this is not something which will help us in system design. It is a very good book for learning operating systems, database management systems, and scaling. This is a very goated book, System Design Interview. This is also a very good book, Grokking the System Design Interview. There are two books. These are the two books. So this is volume 1 and volume 2. You can download these books for yourselves from LibGen. So this library Genesis is a website where you can download almost any book. So for interviews, I came across these two playlists. This is a playlist where there are a lot of interviews, and this is a playlist where there are a lot of detailed interviews. So 40 minute 1 hour interviews. He is a staff engineer. He's a retired staff engineer. So I guess I'll follow these as well. Yeah, I guess this much is enough. All right. So I was reiterating over the video, and I saw or I observed that it all looks very haphazardy. So currently, it all looks. It is all just. I talked about a lot of things. There were a lot of jargons that was thrown, a lot of technical terms that were thrown, and it looks very overwhelming, I guess, and a very at least haphazardy. So the thing is that that is how it will be, or it is initially. So currently we have a lot of unstructured things at the bottommost level. We have raw information, unstructured information, and over a period of time we will start going through all this information and start building all this information, and I'll go in a very pyramid kind of a structure. At least that is what I believe that I'll do. So I'll start making sense of all these things and start making structure out of all this unstructured thing. So to make it a bit more simple, or what we did today. So we did a lot of things today. We talked about, see, wait a second. We talked about this. Yeah, we talked about the blog. We talked about all the books. Done. We talked about the interviews that I'll follow. So we talked about like the two playlists that will follow. We talked about this. We talked about these two videos, brilliant videos, high level design playlist, all the prereqs we talked about. You can learn this while learning system design, or you can have a little idea so that learning system design can become a little bit more easier. So prereqs done, a low level design, high level design. Now the way to learn. So the way that I'll approach this is, for the first 3 weeks, I will focus on low level design. And after that, for the next 2 weeks, I'll focus on high level design, the infrastructure, learning about the infrastructure. And after that, I will almost reiterate and I will start learning these things parallelly. The reason behind that is system design is a skill, or more of a muscle, which engineers build over a period of time. So after facing actual code bases and after years of experience, slowly they start building this muscle of understanding what system design is. And I can't just learn all of that in 2 months, because it's not that I'm watching a movie or reading a novel. It takes a lot of time. So to do as much as justice to my learning arc, I will focus a lot on code, and that is why I'll begin with low level design first. So yeah, that's it. It'll take time, and I'll try to make structure out of all this information that is available. So yeah, day one was fun. It was great. So yeah, maybe we can close this as well. All right. So yeah, day one was fun. It was great. I was able to see what all things are. I was able to define the structure. That's it. I'll begin with low level design. Bye.